don't say things that you'll regret.
Why the Rosé Girls started to begin with. Because
100%.
we all got rejected on national television.
I was in a relationship for 8 years.
I really want to text them, and it's even harder to not text them.
After a few drinks, too. You can cry all you want. It's okay to date around.
And now I'm in love.
Welcome into the Rosé Girls, episode 3. What's up, ladies? Cheers. Guys, today we're going to talk about breakups. Because everyone's going through them, and Lord knows we have, because it happened on national television. So we've got some pretty good tips for you guys.
Messy breakup, but everyone has breakups, you know. So of course, after 2 years, me and my ex broke up, and for me, just being distracted and being out and being, even if you need to go grocery shopping, get out of the house and being around people helped me to like move forward and like get over the breakup.
I
like
agree.
that one.
Well, I was in a relationship for 8 years. So
Whoa.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
That's a marriage. That's a marriage.
That's crazy.
So I was really close with his family, obviously. So the biggest thing for me was just keeping my distance from them. Because I feel like if you like talk to his family or friends, it's easy to get back into that same cycle of, you know, breakup, makeup, breakup, makeup. And we did that for a long time. So just keeping distance, no contact, Facebook, snaps, none of that. Just keep your distance for a while until you're really over it.
Automatically, like, delete people from social media. Like, is that...
See, that's what I was going to ask. Do you guys do that?
Yes.
I think it's healthy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind for me is like,
Oh, yeah.
don't check it. They're invisible. Yeah.
It's so hard, though, like, especially...
It is.
Because you're like, I just want to know, but you
Yeah.
have to do it sooner the better, because it's just going to hurt when you see a Snapchat.
Torture. You
don't
torture
really
yourself.
know what they're actually doing. Like, they might be posting something just so you see it.
Exactly.
That's just not a good road to go down.
I was in a relationship for like over 3 years, and after we broke up, we didn't talk to each other for like 3 months, but I didn't delete his number. I didn't delete him on social media. We were very respectful. Like, we didn't post things with other people, but honestly, the best thing I did to get over it was I just booked a trip, and I like went and visited my family and friends in Canada, and like went snowboarding, and just like you said, like I stayed active. And I think the most important thing is to like exercise your blues, like just stay active, and also surround yourself with people who give off good vibes, make you laugh, family, obviously, like surround yourself with family and friends. Like for a while, I felt like I was dating all my best girlfriends because we would go out for wine or drinks or workout or trips. So like surrounding yourself with the right people is so important. But then now after like we've been separated for a while, we're actually like really, really good friends. And so we pretty much talk like every day still.
That's
which
crazy.
like I know it's like a lot of people are like, how do you do that? But I think it's just because we do care so much about each other that we still have to be in each other's lives.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's a good breakup.
That is.
Yeah, seriously. I know, it's a really good breakup. But the other thing too I actually started to do was I bought this thing called the 5-minute journal. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's a journal that you wake up every morning and you literally just write down what you're grateful for. And it makes you a start the day on such a good note. And then you realize like, okay, you know, obviously breakups are tough and shitty, but I have all these other things to be grateful for.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
That's a really good one. I can totally agree with the whole writing things down thing.
Yeah.
And when you said like being active, I agree with that too. I think fresh air does the world wonders. Like, especially up here in Oregon, like the air is so fresh that anytime I'm feeling like low or blue, and I've been through some crazy breakups, you guys, I'll go hiking or just like go to a waterfall or whatever, and I swear just the air makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But I also think it's really important, like, you're gonna want to talk to that person, and that's totally like, that's okay, because you've obviously talked to this person every day for how long, but you shouldn't. And the way that you can get around not talking to that person is write them a letter and just never give it to them. Like, if there's something that you really, really want to tell them, or you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this and I really want to talk to you about it, trust me, in the long run, it's so much better to not send that text.
100%.
Write it down on a piece of paper. Give it a couple days. If after a couple days you look back and see what you wrote and said, you know what, I do feel like I could actually send that to this person and it would actually be a positive thing, then okay. But give yourself a couple days to like really think about it before you send that text, because most of the time you don't need to send the text and you shouldn't.
Right.
I feel like it's harder when you go out with your friends at night and then you still have like that number in your phone. Like you're like, I really want to text them, and it's even harder to not text them.
After a few drinks too, you gotta be
after
careful.
a few drinks, you want to start telling them everything you've been thinking for the last like 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever.
I'm gonna plug something really quick, because we are the Rosé Girls and we drink wine while we do these. It's going to be amazing because we have some really exciting wines that we're about to taste. And I want to tease it a little bit, if that's allowed.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lauren B. from, what season was that?
From the last season. Was it
20? I think she was season 22.
Ben's season.
Yeah.
She's come out with a new line of rosé, and she's gonna mail each of us girls a bottle to try and to drink while we go. So that's gonna be really fun. We're gonna give reviews of how it is.
Yeah, it's called Dear Rosé.
Yes, Dear Rosé. And then Ben Flachnick, who is TBT Bachelor, from, I don't know, he was a Bachelor maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He also owns vineyards. He's from Sonoma, and he's going to send a bottle of wine or a bottle of rosé to us as well. So you guys got to stay tuned, because we're giving you guys breakup tips, but we're also going to give you some wine tips, because we know that you need them.
I just have to say that that's like part of the reason why the Rosé Girls started to begin with, because we all got rejected on national television, and we used the 7 of us to really help us get through this breakup or whatever you want to call it. And so like, this is the perfect way that you can, you know, use girls to overcome shitty situations.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I have a question.
You have to
I want somebody to answer this for me, and I might put Allie on the spot. Should you go for a distraction? Like, should you try a different guy?
Yeah,
or
125% yes.
100, yes. I'm a firm
believer.
believer. Yeah, 100%. I mean, in your 20s, like, I think keeping your options open is important. Like, you know, forever is a long time. So I'm all about, you know, keeping your options open. Like, it's okay to date around, and, you know, I don't know. What do you think? I do it. My options are definitely open right now.
They're good.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I was in a 5-year relationship, and I was, you know, heartbroken. It was in college, and there was like a 3-day period where I was sad. I didn't talk to my friends, and I just snapped out of it. And like Jess said, I like worked out like crazy, hung out with my friends. I completely changed, and after those 3 days, I was never happier. But I agree, we couldn't communicate. Like, I deleted him from Facebook just because I didn't want to see him with other girls, and out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I agree with all of that. Like, exercise, get out, hang out with friends. But also, I think everybody needs to remember that you can cry all you want. And, like, just take out that pain, because otherwise you're going to just sit there with it and you will never get over it. And I think that sometimes we feel too vulnerable or, you know, too emotional, but if you don't release it, it's going to stay there forever. And I think if sometimes we think that we will never stop crying if we start, but you're going to stop and you will move on. But take a day and just cry. Like, cry to your friends, cry to your mom.
Yeah. You could put on like P.S. I Love You or like The Notebook and
get it out. Yes.
I do that. Yeah. Almost like you're not even crying at your own situation. You're crying at a movie, so you can just cry.
Right.
And you feel so much better because you're like, at least I let it out a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have an example of that. So exactly, you guys, a year ago today. Well, January 13th was when I was broken up with. Friday the 13th, it's been 1 year out of my 3-year relationship. Okay. So example for me, like I went through it. I was heartbroken. I was depressed. I thought this was the guy I was going to marry. And fast forward to a year and I found my real Prince Charming and I'm moved in with him. So like you will stop crying. Like you will find who you were meant to be with. You guys, exactly a year ago. And I thought, oh my God, my life is over. I'm in my 30s. I'm never going to find love. What am I going to do? And so when that breakup happened, I was in graduate school. I was in my last semester. I thought I was going to quit school. My life was over. And then I woke up one day and I was like, no way. Like, I'm going to finish grad school, straight A's. I'm going to, like you said, work out, be distracted. I booked a one-way ticket to Paris. My best friend lives in Paris. And I spent the summer in Paris and had the time of my life. Came back, took another crazy opportunity with you girls. And then life took another turn. And now I'm in love.
Like, that's so exciting.
So like,
that is so cute.
So cute.
Seriously, I think that's the point, and like what we're trying to say right now is, and it's exactly what Katy Perry says, is after a hurricane comes a rainbow.
Absolutely.
And like you have to get through it, and it sucks, but it's also a period of your life where you will experience the most growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nothing will change unless you change it. So you have to just make those decisions, and it might take a little while, and that's okay. Like, feel sad. Like I lived with a guy. I was with him for 7 years. He was my high school sweetheart. He was my first everything. We were meant to be. We grew up down the street from each other. It was like our families were everything. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't the one for me. And it was so hard for us to break up. But when we eventually did, the one thing that I'm so glad that I did, still to this day, and him and I are on fine terms now, what I'm so glad is, especially when you live together, you have to keep it civil. Like, don't say those, you might think something mean, but don't say it out loud. And just try to be as classy through the breakup as you can, because looking back on it, that was now 2.5 years ago. And looking back on it, I'm just like so proud of myself for being able to bite my tongue and stay classy.
Yeah. You don't want to be down on yourself. Like, don't keep asking yourself, like, why not me? Why am I not good enough? Like, even for us, like, why did we go home night one? No, you have to like stay positive, because it wasn't meant to be. Right. And you can't change you are the person you are. And he, obviously that guy, you guys didn't see a future together, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you.
No. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the hardest thing is like you will sometimes think back and be like, what if I did this? Or maybe I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I was doing this. And that's the hardest thing is like, we're fine how we are. It just didn't work out. Like it's life. It does not work out, but you have to move forward.
And it's
easier
said than
you're
done.
happy and find your happiness.
It is.
It's definitely easier said than done, but it's very important not to get so down on yourself.
Yeah.
But you know what, the best thing, and being like a therapist, the best thing I tell my clients too, going through a breakup, going through anything, like when I was in Paris, and you don't have to be in Paris, you can be anywhere. But what helped me the most is I wrote him letters. I never sent all the letters, but every day that I was so heartbroken and so sad, I would let myself cry and let myself be angry and feel all those crazy emotions. And I would write him, not just write it down, but say, "Dear so-and-so, this is how I'm feeling. And like, I want you to know." And I didn't send it, but for me, it was so therapeutic because I got it out of my body. I got it out of my heart, out of my body, out of my brain, and it was just back into the universe. So that's really, really cathartic if you can just write it down and get it out of you.
And you guys, I hope if you're watching this and you're going through a breakup, like, know that you're not alone. Know that we've all been there. Literally every single person has felt that heartbreak. That's why there's so many songs written about it. That's why there's so many movies. That's why all of these things exist, is because it hurts and it's hard. And you're not alone. And if it makes you feel better, I'm like kind of having an idea, like DM us or message us right on our page. Like, give us we can give you like specific advice. If you have a specific situation, like, let us know. We would love to talk about it in the next episode.
We're here.
We won't use names, but like, you never know. Somebody else might be going through something very similar to you. Or maybe one of us has gone through something similar. So please reach out. We really would appreciate that. And if you have any other questions or whatever else, like, please let us know. We love your comments. Seriously, they warm my heart.
Write to us.
Not all of you are nice, but that's okay.
You guys, I met up with my girlfriend today, and can you guys see these? It says
Sugarfina?
First Rosé.
Oh, you never had a rosé one?
Cute.
Aren't they cute? They have rosé ones.
Cute.
You've never had it?
Aww. No.
Yeah, those are
So
amazing.
good.
I've never had it either. Cute.
Either.
Also, talking to a therapist, like my friend, she started talking to a counselor. She went through a breakup and she was hesitant. It literally changed her life. So, I mean,
Good.
don't feel weird talking to a therapist. Like, if that's going to help you, like, that can change your life. So if it, needs to be that, then.
And we all have like different ways of coping, and going through it. So for one person, it could be a therapist. One person, it's like being active all the time. It just depends. You do whatever works for you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We love you so much, and we will see you next week. We love you, and as always, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.